Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about something that many people fear, yet it is something that can truly empower us. That something is being alone. When we speak of solitude, people often associate it with loneliness, sadness, or even failure. Society often tells us that to be whole, to be truly fulfilled, we must always be in the company of others. But let me share a truth with you. Being alone is not a weakness. It is a power, a source of strength, a place of transformation. In this fast-paced world, we are constantly surrounded by noise. Noise in our environments, noise in our relationships, noise in our minds. Every moment of our lives seems to be filled with distractions pulling us in every direction, but there is a profound power in embracing moments of solitude. The truth is, if you don't understand the power of being alone, you will never understand the greatness of who you truly are. You see, being alone isn't about being isolated. It's about being in a space where you can hear the voice of your own spirit, free from the opinions, judgments, and expectations of others. The world tells us that we need validation from others. It tells us that we need to surround ourselves with people in order to feel seen and heard. But let me ask you, who are you when no one is watching? Who are you when you are left with just yourself, without any external influences? It is in those moments that you find your true self. It is in the solitude that you discover your own thoughts, desires, and aspirations. Without that time alone, you will always be subject to the influence of the world around you. When we embrace solitude, we come face to face with our own thoughts, fears, and desires. It is only when we are alone that we have the opportunity to reflect on the choices we have made, the paths we are walking, and the direction we are heading. It is in the quiet, away from the noise of the world, that we gain clarity about our purpose and our vision. We can't hear the still, small voice that guides us when we are constantly surrounded by the opinions of others. But when we are alone, we hear that voice more clearly. And in that voice is the direction we need to move forward in life. In solitude, you are forced to confront yourself. You cannot escape. You cannot run away from the reality of who you are. The question becomes, what will you do with the time you have alone? Will you allow it to be a moment of fear and insecurity, or will you use it as an opportunity for growth and self-discovery? There is a certain strength that comes from confronting your own reality. It is in those moments of quiet reflection that you find the courage to face your fears, your weaknesses, and your past. It is in solitude that you realize that you are not defined by your circumstances or the opinions of others. You are defined by the choices you make and the actions you take. Solitude is not the absence of others. It is the presence of your true self. When you are alone, you are not without. You are actually with the most powerful force in your life, yourself. There is a strength in being alone because it allows you to be authentic. You don't need to put on a mask or pretend to be someone you're not. You can be who you truly are. In a world that constantly pressures us to conform, solitude allows us to rediscover our uniqueness, our creativity, and our power. When we spend time alone, we connect with the essence of who we are. We tap into the source of our purpose, our drive, and our potential. Being alone is not about cutting yourself off from others. It's about reconnecting with your own soul. It's about rediscovering the dreams that are buried deep within you. Often we are so busy chasing after the approval of others that we lose sight of what we were truly meant to do. But when we are alone, we can rediscover our dreams, our passions, and the reason we were created. There is also power in being able to make decisions on your own. When we are constantly surrounded by the voices of others, it becomes difficult to hear our own. The opinions of others can cloud our judgment, causing us to second guess ourselves and doubt our abilities. But when we are alone, we are in a position to trust our own instincts. We can make decisions that are in alignment with our true values, not based on what others think we should do. There's an inner strength that comes from making choices that are true to who we are, and that strength is nurtured in solitude. Let's also talk about the power of silence. In the noise of the world, we often overlook the power of silence. Silence is not the absence of sound, it is the presence of clarity. When we take time to be silent, we create space for our thoughts to settle. It is in that silence that we gain insight, wisdom, and understanding. Too often we are afraid of silence because it forces us to confront our own thoughts. But it is in silence that we can hear the answers to the questions we've been asking. Silence clears the clutter in our minds and allows us to hear the whispers of our own potential. Solitude also gives us the space to heal. Many of us are carrying wounds from the past, wounds that have not healed because we have not taken the time to be alone with ourselves. We are afraid of the pain, so we seek distractions and the company of others. But healing requires solitude. Healing requires the courage to sit with your own emotions, to face your pain, and to allow it to transform you. Only when we spend time alone can we truly begin the process of healing, for it is in that space that we can release the past and make room for a brighter future. Finally, I want to emphasize that being alone is not about being isolated or disconnected. It is about being deeply connected with your own soul, your own truth, and your own potential. It is about embracing the quiet moments that allow you to grow, to reflect, and to become the person you were always meant to be. Being alone is a power because it is in those moments that you have the opportunity to become more than you ever imagined. You have the power to change, to evolve, and to create a life that is truly yours. So I urge you today, don't be afraid of being alone. Embrace the power of solitude. Use it as a tool for self-discovery, for healing, and for growth. When you understand that being alone is not a curse, but a gift, you will begin to unlock the power within you. And it is in that power that you will find your true purpose, your true strength, and your true greatness. Solitude is often misunderstood as isolation or loneliness, but it is in fact a powerful tool for self-discovery and clarity. When we are constantly surrounded by the noise of the world, whether it's the distractions of technology, the demands of our work, or the expectations of others, it becomes difficult to hear our own inner voice. The mind becomes cluttered and we lose touch with who we truly are. In these moments of constant external input, it's easy to lose sight of our own values, desires, and aspirations. However, solitude offers a different experience. It creates the necessary space for us to reconnect with ourselves. It is in those quiet moments when we are removed from the world's influence that we are given the opportunity to look inward and reflect. When we are alone, we no longer have the constant noise of the outside world drowning out our inner thoughts. It is in these moments of silence that we can truly hear our own thoughts. And it is through this self-reflection that we discover who we are, what we truly want, and what our life's purpose might be. Solitude allows us to tune into our emotions, our deepest desires, and our most authentic self without the fear of judgment or the pressure to conform to the expectations of others. This clarity is invaluable because in the stillness, we uncover our true motivations, fears, and strengths that may have been hidden beneath the surface. Furthermore, solitude provides an opportunity to think deeply about our past decisions and experiences. Without distractions, we can evaluate what has worked for us and what hasn't, making it easier to identify patterns and make informed choices moving forward. In these moments of reflection, we can find the wisdom to let go of past regrets, forgive ourselves, and chart a new course for our future. The power of solitude lies in its ability to sharpen our focus, helping us see ourselves more clearly and fostering the personal growth needed to move forward in life with purpose and confidence. Being alone gives us the rare opportunity to reconnect with our true purpose, something that can often get lost in the hustle and bustle of daily life. In a world where we are constantly encouraged to look outward for validation, recognition, and approval, it is easy to forget why we do what we do in the first place. We become so caught up in the noise, in the demands of others, and in meeting external expectations that we lose sight of the passions and dreams that originally inspired us. The pressures of society, family, and friends can cloud our vision and lead us to adopt paths that are not truly ours. But when we are alone, we are given the space to pause, reflect, and rediscover the essence of what drives us. Solitude allows us to strip away the layers that others have imposed on us, and it brings us face to face with our own truth. In these quiet moments, we can examine what truly excites us, what we are passionate about, and what we desire to accomplish in this lifetime. Without the influence of others, we are free to ask ourselves the difficult but important questions. What do I want? What is my purpose in this world? What is it that makes my soul come alive? These questions are difficult to answer when we are constantly surrounded by noise and expectations, but solitude offers the perfect environment for introspection. In the absence of external distractions, we can tap into the deepest part of ourselves. It is in solitude that we have the opportunity to realign with the vision we once had, or perhaps even create a new vision for the future. The clarity that comes in moments of aloneness helps us refocus on the things that truly matter and shed the weight of obligations or duties that no longer serve us. It allows us to honor our authentic selves and reestablish the connection with our deepest desires and dreams, guiding us to the path that is uniquely ours. By spending time alone, we stop living in reaction to the world around us and begin living with intention. This reconnection with our purpose empowers us to move forward with clarity and confidence, not because we are chasing after someone else's idea of success, but because we are following our own calling. Silence is often overlooked in a world that constantly bombards us with noise, information, and distractions. Yet it is in silence that we find the power to access deep insight, wisdom, and personal growth. In the midst of constant activity, our minds are cluttered with a never-ending stream of thoughts, concerns, and external stimuli. This overload of information can lead to confusion and indecision, preventing us from seeing things clearly. But when we take time to embrace silence, we create the space for our minds to settle and for clarity to emerge. Silence is not simply the absence of sound. It is the presence of space, of openness, where true understanding can flourish. In the quiet, we allow our thoughts to settle and become more organized. And it is in this calm that we can hear the subtle truths that are often drowned out by the chaos of daily life. In moments of silence, we are able to hear the stillness within ourselves, a stillness that can lead to powerful insights about our circumstances, our goals, and our relationship. The wisdom that emerges in silence is not always immediate, but it is profound, and it has the ability to shape our future in ways we cannot predict. When we are constantly surrounded by noise, it becomes difficult to process our thoughts and feelings fully. Silence offers us the chance to pause and reflect, helping us gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and our environment. It is in this silence that we are able to think critically without the interference of outside opinion. Our minds can explore possibilities, weigh decisions, and clarify our desires. The peace found in silence also enables us to listen more intently, not only to our own thoughts, but also to the world around us. We begin to notice the subtle nuances that might otherwise go unnoticed in the rush of daily life, giving us a deeper connection to ourselves and to others. In a world that prioritizes constant motion and productivity, silence can feel uncomfortable or even unsettling. However, it is precisely in the discomfort of silence that we often find the breakthrough moments of clarity that propel us forward. The silence is not an emptiness, but a fertile ground where ideas, solutions, and transformations can take root. Solitude provides the space and freedom to make decisions that are true to our authentic selves. In a world where external influences, whether from family, friends, society, or even the media, constantly shape our thoughts and actions, it can be difficult to hear our own voice. Often we find ourselves making decisions based on what others expect from us rather than what we truly want or need. The pressure to conform can cloud our judgment, leading us to follow paths that do not align with our deepest values. But in moments of solitude, we are no longer influenced by the voices of others. Instead, we are left alone with our thoughts and emotions, which allows us to tap into our own inner wisdom and make choices that reflect our true desires. When we are alone, we can step away from the noise and distractions of the world. This quiet allows us to reflect on what is truly important to us, giving us the opportunity to examine our values and goals without external pressure. In solitude, we are free to make decisions based on our personal beliefs, not on the expectations of others. We can assess situations from a place of clarity, weighing the pros and cons without being swayed by the opinions of those around us. This is a powerful gift. When we make decisions from a place of authenticity, we are more likely to feel confident and empowered in our choices. Moreover, solitude allows us to be more in tune with our instincts. When we are constantly surrounded by the advice, opinions, and judgments of others, it becomes easy to second guess ourselves and doubt our abilities. But when we are alone, we have the opportunity to reconnect with our inner voice and trust our intuition. We can listen to the subtle cues that guide us and take steps that are in alignment with our true purpose. There is a deep strength that comes from trusting yourself and making decisions that are true to who you are, not based on what others think you should do. In solitude, we are not just free from the opinions of others, we are free to fully express our individuality. We have the power to carve our own path, knowing that the choices we make come from a place of genuine self-awareness. This independence in decision-making is a crucial aspect of personal growth and empowerment. It allows us to move forward in life with a sense of direction and confidence, knowing that we are not simply reacting to the world around us, but actively shaping our own journey. Spending time alone provides a unique opportunity for healing and transformation, both of which are essential for personal growth. Many of us carry emotional wounds and scars from past experiences, whether from relationships, failures, or unmet expectations. These unresolved wounds can weigh heavily on us, preventing us from moving forward and fully embracing our potential. However, it is only in solitude that we can truly begin the process of healing. In the quiet, away from the distractions and demands of the world, we are given the chance to confront these wounds head on, without the interference of others. It is in these moments of aloneness that we can process our emotions, reflect on the events that have shaped us, and begin to release the pain that has been holding us back. When we are surrounded by others, it is easy to avoid facing our inner struggles. We may busy ourselves with external activities, distracting ourselves from the emotional work that needs to be done. But solitude provides the space for self-reflection and emotional awareness. It allows us to examine our feelings without judgment, to understand the roots of our pain, and to make peace with our past. This process of self-healing is deeply personal and requires time and space, something that solitude naturally offers. In those moments of solitude, we can explore our vulnerabilities and give ourselves the grace to heal, free from the pressures of the outside world. Moreover, solitude enables us to transform those wounds into sources of strength. The pain we have experienced in life doesn't have to define us. Rather, it can become a catalyst for growth. In solitude, we can gain the clarity to reframe our past experiences, viewing them not as burdens, but as lessons that have shaped us into who we are today. This shift in perspective allows us to embrace our struggles as part of our journey and use them as stepping stones toward personal evolution. The healing process, when nurtured in solitude, empowers us to become more resilient, more compassionate, and more connected to our true selves. Healing is not always a quick process. It takes time, patience, and deep introspection. Solitude is the environment that provides us with the peace and space to allow this transformation to take place. It is in those quiet moments that we find the strength to move past our past, embrace our scars, and step into the person we are destined to become. In a world that constantly emphasizes the importance of external connections, activity, and validation, the power of being alone often goes unnoticed. Yet, it is through solitude that we can tap into the deepest aspects of our own existence and discover the untapped potential within. The ability to spend time alone is not a weakness, nor is it something to be feared. It is, in fact, one of the most transformative practices we can engage in for personal growth, healing, and clarity. When we embrace solitude, we give ourselves the opportunity to disconnect from the noise and distractions of the world, allowing our true selves to emerge. Through solitude, we gain the precious gift of self-discovery. It is only in moments of aloneness that we can truly hear our own thoughts, reflect on our desires, and reconnect with the passions and dreams that may have been clouded by the pressures of life. In the quiet, we are able to understand who we really are, what we truly want, and where we are headed in life. It is a time for introspection and growth, free from the influence of others, where we can rediscover our purpose and realign ourselves with our authentic path. Silence, too, is a vital component of this journey. In the absence of external noise, we gain access to the clarity and wisdom that lie within. Silence enables us to process our thoughts, listen to our instincts, and reflect deeply on our experiences. In these moments of stillness, we are able to make decisions based on our inner truth rather than the opinions of others. Solitude and silence together create the fertile ground in which our most profound insights are born, allowing us to move forward in life with intention and purpose. Moreover, solitude provides the space for healing. It is in these moments alone that we can confront past wounds, reflect on our challenges, and begin to let go of the emotional baggage that weighs us down. Healing takes time, and solitude offers the peace and space needed for this process to unfold. It is in the quiet of our own company that we can begin to understand our pain, forgive ourselves, and transform our past experiences into sources of strength. Ultimately, being alone is not about isolation. It is about reconnecting with the most powerful force in our lives, ourselves. It is the time to listen, to reflect, to heal, and to grow. The power of being alone lies in its ability to create the space for self-discovery, self-healing, and self-empowerment. By embracing solitude, we are empowered to live more authentically, make decisions aligned with our true purpose, and tap into the infinite potential that resides within us. The world may tell us that we need to constantly be in the company of others to find meaning, but in reality, it is in those moments of aloneness that we find our greatest strength and purpose.